Welcome. If you are here, you're on chapter 7 of this Python course. This Python course is for your PCEP certification, or if you just want to learn Python for free. Today, we're going to focus in on defining functions. And basically, functions are reusable block of codes that I can call later. And we're going to start by creating a happy birthday song. So we're going to use a function by creating a happy birthday song. So this is how we're going to start. We're going to start today by creating a happy birthday song using functions. So we're going to say def happy. For me to start creating to declare a function, I have to start with the def, which stands for defining. So now I use parenthesis and colon. So this is how I declare a function, basically def, and then I say the name of the function, however I want to call. I use parenthesis, I use period or the colon, and then I start saying what I want the function to do. So we're going to say print parenthesis happy birthday. So we're going to say happy birthday, and then happy birthday to you. So we're going to say happy birthday to you. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy this line of code, guys. We're going to hit enter. We're going to do 3 times happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And then we need to do one more happy birthday to you. So we're going to make our own happy birthday song. Happy birthday to you. And then we're just going to print a new line. So we're going to do another print. So now I have my function, and every single thing that's inside here, that is with the indentation line. The indentation line is the separation between this little line of the screen. So that's the indentation mark. So as you guys see, we have the happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. So now we have the print function. And what we want to do here, we want to call that function. And in order to call that function, I have to specify the name of the function. So for example, I'm going to say happy parenthesis. And now I'm calling that function. Happy. So we're going to run the program just to see you guys can see what happens. And I'm going to move this a little bit up. And now we have happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. So now we have our song happy birthday, but we want to make our own song of happy birthday by defining this function. So here inside this parenthesis is what we call parameters. So inside this parenthesis is what we call parameters. So we have to specify our parameters. So our first parameter is going to be name. So now I'm going to change this, and I'm going to change it to formatted functions. So I'm going to change this to formatted functions. And I'm going to say, instead of saying happy birthday to you, I'm going to say happy birthday, curly brackets, and then I'm going to say name. So I'm going to say name, and then here the name. So this inside the second parenthesis of our function, when we call the function, is called arguments. So remember, these are our parameters, and these are our arguments. So here we're going to say me, happy birthday to me. So now I want to say happy birthday to me multiple times. So we're going to do Control C. And then we're going to delete this. We're going to Control V. Happy birthday to name, which will be me. Happy birthday to name, which will be me. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to who? To me. So we want to specify. So we have our parameter here, name, and then we have our argument, which is me. So we're going to run it one more time so you guys can see what happens and what changed. So I'm going to move this a little bit up. And then you guys see now I have happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to me. So now we have our function, but I see something I didn't like, guys. So I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm going to hit a space here, and a space here. So now that we have that function, we can call the function one more time. So we can call the function by saying the name of the function, happy. And this time is going to be happy birthday to you. So the second time is going to be the first time. The first song that we have is going to be Happy Birthday to Me. You're going to see. So we're going to run it. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this a little bit high. And then now we have Happy Birthday to Me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, happy birthday to me. But as you guys see, now we as well have the happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So now we have a different song, but just I didn't have to repeat all of this line of code, which will make a mess in my line of code if I had to like print every single line of every type of song that I want to make. So for example, now I have the happy birthday to you, happy birthday to me. And now I'm going to call the function one more time. I'm going to say parentheses, and then I'm going to say happy birthday to us. So now I have called the function 3 times. So I call the function 3 times. As you guys see, I call the function 3 times, and I'm going to run it one more time. And I'm going to move this up so you guys can see. So now we have happy birthday to me, and then we have happy birthday to you, and then we have happy birthday to us. So as you guys see, I didn't have to print all this multiple times and then specifying like happy birthday to me, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to us. All I had to do was create the function and then call the function multiple times. That's all I had to do, guys. That's all I have to do. And like I said at the beginning, these are parameters right here. These are parameters, and these are our arguments. So we're gonna say, like, for example, let's say I want to make another parameter, and then I'm gonna say h. So we're gonna say h, and then we're gonna run it just to see, just so you guys can see what happens if I run this. And as you guys see, I have a mistake. I have a mistake, and this is because I made this mistake in purpose. And this is because I have 2 parameters, and on my arguments, I only have 1 argument. So I have to specify. So for example, this is gonna be 55. Happy birthday to me. We're gonna do every time I call a parameter, I have to specify comma. So for example, now we have happy birthday to me, and then we're gonna say comma, and then we're gonna say that this is 20. You're 20, and then us, we are 40. So now I'm gonna run it just so you guys can see what happens. So I'm gonna run it, and I'm gonna move this higher so you guys can see. And now we have our song, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to us. So we have that song, happy birthday. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna scroll this down, and then, like I said, this is our modified version of the happy birthday song. Happy birthday to me, to name you are, and then we're gonna say the curly brackets to specify what's going on, and then we're gonna say h. So we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it from India. Hey, how are you, big boss from India, sir? At Project Handy Aircraft. Thank you for being here, big boss. Thank you for being here. A lot of appreciation. This is a stream that I'm posting out there. If you are new, subscribe to this channel. I'm on chapter 7. I'm on chapter 7 of this Python certification course. But right now I'm teaching defining functions. If you are new here to this channel, to this stream, I'm teaching defining functions and how you can use a function and then call the function multiple times. So bravo boss for being here. Bravo boss, stay here because I'm teaching defining functions. So if you want to take your PCEP certification, this course is designed for that. But also, if you are new to Python, this course is designed to be new for Python as well. So now we're gonna run this function again. So I have my function, which I start calling with the def, which that's how you call a function. You define the name of the function. In this case, I use happy, but I can use whatever name I wanted. I could use, for example, happy underscore birthday. But then when I call my function, I'll have to change this to happy underscore birthday. So I'll have to call my function. When I call my function, I'll have to change all of this to happy birthday. And then I'll have to call this again to happy birthday. So now I have my function, happy birthday. And we're gonna run it just to see, guys, just so you guys can see what happens. I'm gonna move this up so you guys can see what happens. I'm gonna scroll this up, and then now you have happy birthday to me. You are 55. And then I have the other one, happy birthday to you. You are 20. And then I also have happy birthday to us. You are 40. So as you guys see, I have my 2 arguments, calling my two parameters. So you guys see how I use this function, how I use this very basic function to like specify some parameters and some arguments. And now what we want to do, we want to fix this. So happy birthday to me. And then we're gonna say you are 55, and then happy birthday to you. You are 20. Happy birthday to us. We're gonna leave it how it is, just to make it simple, and not complicate our lives. So what I want to show you now that I show you that, I want to show you how you can use this by calling another function. So we're gonna delete all of this, and then we're gonna create a function. So I'm gonna delete this. We finish our happy birthday song. And then we're going to create a function that adds two numbers. So we're going to create a basic function that basically just adds two numbers. If you have questions, big boss out there in the chat, throw in the chat. I usually respond. I read the comments. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat. So we're going to do a function that adds two numbers. So we're going to say, when I start creating a function, I say the def, which is the command to call a function. And then we're going to name this function add_two numbers. So basically, that's the name of our function. And remember, I use parentheses, and then I specify the colon to like do the format that Python requires. It's the syntax that Python requires. So we're going to say that we need a function that adds two numbers. So we're going to say the result. We're going to make an invisible variable named result. And then we're going to say x plus, we're going to say num1 plus num2. Num1 plus num2 to be more precise, instead of using like symbols or letters. So just so you guys understand, to make this more clear, I'm going to say this. We're doing a function that create a function that adds two numbers. Basically, we're doing a function that adds two numbers. So we have our function right there. And then, for example, I'm going to say print parentheses, print me the result. So I want the function to print me the result. But what is it going to print if there is no, like, if num1 plus num2, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are our parameters. There's no values in store there. So in order to do that, I have to call the function. So I'm going to say add two numbers, parentheses. So I'm calling the function. And then inside, when I call the function, I have to say our argument. So our arguments, we're going to say 5, and then we're going to say 10. So basically, 5 times 10, has to be 15. So 5 times 10 has to be 15. So we're going to run it. And then we have over here, I'm going to move this higher so you guys can see. And then I have 15. So you guys see how I have 15 right here as my result. But we can make it this a little bit more like professional. So we can say formatted function. We can say a formatted function, and then we can put this in curly brackets. We can put this in curly brackets to make it more professional. The result of these two numbers is colon. We can say like this, so just to make it more professional, guys. So this is a formatted function. I already teach formatted function in other episodes, in other chapters, how you can use formatted functions, but I'm still teaching it here. Like I said, while I'm going, I'm also teaching other stuff. So just so you guys can see what's happening behind the screens. So we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it one more time, and then we're gonna move this up a little bit, and now we have the result of these two numbers is 15. So basically, we had our function which called the result of two numbers is 15. So as you guys see, I can call the function again, add two numbers, and then this time we're gonna say 5 and 20. 5 and 20. So I'm calling that function again, but in this scenario, I'm saying different numbers. So we're gonna clear this. We're gonna run it again, and now I have the result of these two numbers is 15 of our first one. The first time we called the function, and the result of the second numbers is 25. So we're gonna call it one more time. Parentheses. We're gonna say 30, 30. Just so you guys understand what's happening behind this. So I'm calling this function, but I'm saying it again. So I'm saying like, hey, do this, do that. So we're gonna call it. We're gonna run it one more time, and now we have the result of these two numbers is 15. The result of these two numbers is 25. The result of these two numbers is 60. So as you guys see, I can call this function multiple times without having to type every single line of code. So now that I did that, I want to show you something called return. A return. So the return, what the return does, returns everything back to the function. So instead of, remember on the other time I used print, in this time I'm using return. So return is going to return every single thing back to my function. So for example, I want to return the result. I want to return back to my function the result. So I want to return back. But now that I have that, I have to create a variable to save that result. So I'm going to say value. I'm going to name this value equals. We're gonna say the name of our function, add to numbers, parentheses. Value equals add to numbers, parentheses. But I want to change this. I see there are some comments out there. Sir, my name is Amon. I'm your old subscriber, and I've been following your classes for a long time. These are awesome classes. Thank you, Big Boss. Thank you. A lot of appreciation, Big Boss. Thank you, Amon. A lot of appreciation for real, Big Boss. I've been doing this class for free. I'm not getting paid $0, $0.00. So I'm just doing this for free, just so you guys can pass your, like I say, your certification. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for saying that these are awesome classes, Big Boss. Thank you, boss. And I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you. So let's continue with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this parameters. Remember, these are parameters. The first inside our function are parameters. And I'm going to delete them completely. Completely. And I'm going to delete my invisible variables that I have stored for my parameters. So we're going to say, in this case, we're going to say 20 plus 50. So in this case, you guys see how I deleted my my parameters. Remember the first time parameters, second times are arguments. So in this case, I deleted, and I'm doing something inside that function. So I'm doing a result 20 plus 50. And then now I have value of two numbers. So we're going to say value, and then we're going to print parentheses, and then we're going to say print value. Print value, which is the value where I have where we have stored our data of the add to number function. So we're going to run it, and we have 70. So 20 plus 50 is 70, guys. So as you guys see, we have 70. But inside that function, we can also do more stuff. So for example, we're going to say result underscore 1 equals, we're going to say 30 plus 30 minus 50. So now we have inside that function, we're calling another thing. So we have result underscore 1, and then we have to say return comma result underscore 1. So now we're returning back the result underscore 1. So we're going to return the first one, this one, and we're going to return this one. But now we have to create another variable to store that, and we're going to say value underscore 1 equals add to numbers parentheses. We're going to print the value just to see guys see what happens. I'm doing some testing just to see guys see what happens. And now we have 70 and negative 20. Now we have 70. Let me clear this clean so you guys can see exactly what happens. So I'm going to run it. I'm going to move this high just to see you guys can see what happens. So as you guys see, I have 70 and I have 20 and I have negative 20. And this is because on my first result, I'm doing an addition. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to delete this, and then I'm just going to leave it as two numbers, so we can do every single. So we can do every single, like multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division, which are the four most common things in Python, guys, that we use in Python. So these are the four most common things that we use in Python, guys. So that's why I leave that one as how it is. But we're going to scroll up here and create a function that adds two numbers, comma, subtracts two numbers, divides two numbers, and multiplies to numbers. So we're doing a function that adds to numbers, subtract to numbers, divides to numbers, and multiplies to numbers. So basically that's what we're doing, guys. So we're gonna do this function that does all of that. So as you guys see now, we have our an addition, and then we have our subtraction. So now we're gonna do result underscore 2, and then here we wanna say our subtraction. So we're gonna say 30 minus. No, we already did our subtraction. So this is gonna be our multiplication. 30 times 30. So result 2 is gonna be 30 times 30. So I have to call this again value underscore 2. I'm gonna name this, and then remember we specify our function. We call back our function to store our value that is stored into here, into result 2, guys. So we have our result 2. So we have to return the result 2. So we're gonna do comma result 2. Basically, what I'm trying to teach you right now, guys, is the return function, which returns everything back to it returns everything back here. Every single thing that is in here, guys, this is called indentation. Pay attention. This is called indentation. Indentation is the line of separation. That is the line of separation between here and here. And this is very important because when I code bigger lines of code, if something is not like on the correct spaces, your whole Python is going to crash, guys. Your whole Python is going to crash, or something is not going to work. And you guys are going to be like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's happening, you know? And this is because if my indentation is not correct, this can happen. So we're going to run it one more time just to see what happens. So now I have 70, which is the addition. I have negative 20, which is the subtraction. And then I have 900, which is the result of 30 times 30, which you have to do the last thing, which will be the multiplication. So let's do it. And then we're going to say result, comma 3 equals 30 divided by 30. 30 divided by 30. So we're going to say 30 divided by 30. 30 divided by 30. Remember, we have to return back our result to our function. So we have to say comma result 3. So I can return this. So I can return this function, right? This operation back to our function. So I can return everything back to here. So for example, here I'm returning 70. So 70 is going to fill this parenthesis. Here I'm returning negative 20. So negative 20 fills the second part, the second code. Here I'm returning 900. So I'm returning 900 to here. Here I'm returning 1. So 1 is going to come back over here. So you guys see what happened exactly. And then when I say the return, I'm returning every single thing back to here. So now we're going to scroll down. And then we have to remember how we're storing values. We have to create variables. So value underscore 3 equals, I call my function to numbers. And then every time I call my function, I have to specify parentheses. If I don't do parentheses, it won't work. So we're going to run it. Let me clear the screen so you guys can see better. So you guys can see better exactly what's happening. So I'm going to run it. I'm going to move this a little bit low. And then I'm going to scroll this up. And then as you guys see, I have result equals 20 plus 50, which, like I said, is going to return everything back to here. 70 in our parentheses. Remember, in our parentheses. So I'm going to highlight this. So 70. And then we have the negative 20, which is our result that we return back a result to our function, negative 20. And then we have the 900. We have the 900, which the 900 is the result of 30 plus 30. If you guys have a calculator on your house or you guys want to compare this, you can do it. You can check this. And basically this will allow you to check that the code is actually correct. But pay attention here. Pay attention, guys, here. We have 1.0. 1.0. I'm out, guys. I'm out. Why do we have 1.0 here if 30 plus 30 is no 1.0 is 1? If anyone can explain this, if anyone can explain in the chat, why do I have 1.0? When I divide 30 divided by 30, why do I get 1.0? If anyone knows why I get 1.0, throw in the chat. But I think I have already explained this on other episodes on like why I get why exactly I get a 1.0. But the reason is because in Python, this is very important, guys. This is very important in Python that you guys pay attention to this division. This division is very important. And then the reason why, because this division will always give you a floating value. So if I want an integer value, I have to say 2 slash. So I always have to say 2 slash. So if I want an integer, so I'm going to clear this. I'm going to run it one more time just so you guys can see why I got and now I have 30 divided by 31. So this is very important, guys. If you guys want integer values, this is how you're going to use the integer value, guys. So now that I teach you the return statement, I'm going to teach you another statement. So I'm going to delete all of this. We're going to delete all of this. We're going to delete this. And I want to teach you the pass statement. The pass statement. So the pass statement, guys, doesn't do anything. It's just basically a placeholder. The pass statement doesn't do nothing, guys. It doesn't do nothing at all, guys. Literally, it doesn't do nothing. That's how I'm saying nothing. It does nothing. But the reason why the pass statement is so important, why this is so important, even though it doesn't do nothing, is, for example, I'm calling another function, so I'm making 3 underscore numbers, parentheses. The reason why the pass, even though the pass doesn't do anything at all, it helps me to keep, like, for example, in the future, I can put some comments, and then to make a comment, I just have to say the hashtag. So we're gonna say this function in the future will add 2 numbers. That way, let's say I'm writing a lot of lines of code. Let's say I'm writing, like, I'm typing. But if I don't want to forget, and I already make the name of my function, I know what the function is gonna do. I use the pass statement, guys, and the pass statement allows me to continue my code, and it's just gonna pass that. So it's not gonna do anything. It just serves as a placeholder. So remember this: the pass statement is one of the things that you guys probably will see a lot. So if you ever see this, it doesn't do anything. It just passes. So we did that. I show you the pass. So now I'm going to say a function that adds 3 numbers. So we're going to say result equals. I'm going to delete this because we already did this. So create a function that adds 3 numbers. So we're gonna leave the pass. We're gonna leave the pass here just so you guys see that it won't interfere with my code. But we're gonna say 5 plus. We're gonna say num1 plus num2 plus num3. Num1 plus num2 plus num3, and then we're gonna say here. We're gonna call it this. I remember the first time. I'm gonna repeat it one more time because we're teaching here at the same time, so you guys can pass your interviews, whatever you guys have to do. Like if you want to be a programmer, sometimes they're gonna ask you, what are parameters? What are arguments? How do I specify this? How do I do that? So remember, inside our first, when I call my function, I have my parameters. So num1, comma num2, comma num3, comma num3. So I have that. Remember, the indentation part is very important, guys. The indentation part. So result equals num1 plus num2 plus num3. So I have that. And then I want to return everything back, which, remember, I already showed you what the return does. It returns everything back to our function. So we're going to say return result, parentheses. And the moment I do the result and I hit enter, Python automatically knows that I'm doing this as a as my function has finished there. So basically my function has finished there. So I hit enter, I said return result, and then now I have to call my function. So I'm going to call my function. And I'm going to say 3 underscore number. And I'm going to say the numbers that I want this function to add. So for example, we're going to say 5, 10, 20. So I'm going to call that function, but remember, because we're storing all those, we have to specify our variable. So we're going to say our variable was going to be the underscore result the underscore result equals our function, the underscore result. I see that there's a comment out there. Thank you, Miss. We have the homie Jared out there. We have the homie Jared. We have the homie Jared out there. We have the homie Jared out there. We have the homie Jared out there. Thank you for being here, big boss. Thank you for being here, big boss. This is chapter 7, big boss, of the Python course. If you are here for the Python course to take for our PCEP certification, also if you just want to learn Python, stay here. I got probably like another 40 minutes of the stream, and then I should be done. So today's episode is just variables. So variables. So variables. We're doing defining functions. So like I said, guys, we have the result equals the 3 numbers, and then we're sending everything back to our 3 numbers. Like I said, I already teach you what the pass does. What an inspiration! we have the homie Jared is out there. The homie Jared is. I'm getting mad, guys. I'm getting angry. So thank you, big boss, for being here. Thank you, a lot of appreciation. Thank you, big boss. So we're gonna continue. So the result equals 3 numbers, 5, 10, and then we want to print that result. So we want to print, and then we're gonna say the result. So we want to print that result. And remember, I was teaching the pass statement, guys. So just to see that the pass statement won't do anything, we'll just bypass my line of code. We're gonna run it, and then we have 35. So as you guys see, I have the 35. I can specify. I can make this more professional by including a formatted function. So remember, when I use a formatted function, I use the F for formatted, and the result, whatever I have in my variable result. So we're gonna say the result of these 3 numbers is period the result. So we're gonna run it one more time. And you guys see the result of these 3 numbers is 35. And as you guys see, I have another function here. But if I wouldn't include the pass, my second function wouldn't work, because like I said, sometimes I wanna do more stuff, but I'm not sure what exactly I want this function to do. But I can use the pass statement to send everything back. Guys, that's what I was trying to specify. So that's why it's important to learn the pass statement. And we're gonna end with we're gonna create a list. We're gonna create a list just for you guys. We're gonna create a list. So we're gonna delete all of this. Now that I teach you that, we're gonna delete all of this. I teach you the pass statement already. So we're gonna delete all of this. And then we're gonna define a function that creates a list. So we're gonna define a function that creates a list. We're gonna define a function that creates a list, guys. So remember, when I start creating a function, I always start with def. This is essential, guys. It's just a very simple command. So we're gonna name the function create underscore list. We're gonna say cities. We're gonna start naming cities. We're gonna start using cities, because put on the chat what cities you guys throw on the chat. What cities you want me to put on this list? Chat. I need your help, 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 chat. I need your help. So we're gonna define a function that creates cities. But in order for me to write down all those cities, write down city names on the chat. Write down city names in the chat. So create underscore cities, and then we're gonna say names. So we're gonna do parentheses. We're gonna do parentheses to say a series. So we're gonna return. Remember, I already teach you what the return does. The return returns everything back to our function. Create a function that creates a list for cities around the world. So if you guys know cities around the world, throw them on the chat. So when I create a list, when I need to create a list, I have to use this ones, guys. This is square brackets. I hear, but that is nice. So we have the first city. So we're gonna start with our first city, Baghdad. So our first city is gonna be Baghdad. I don't know. I just got here, guys. So our first city is gonna be Baghdad, and then we're gonna say more cities. We're gonna say Tokyo. So Tokyo, I hear Tokyo is good. I don't know. We're gonna say, comma, comma, New York, comma, New York. New York is another city, guys. New York is another city. New York is another city, guys. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna delete this. We got New York. We got comma. What other city Tokyo works? I guess, bro. Tokyo works, bro. Tokyo works. Tokyo, New York. Barcelona, guys. I hear Barcelona. Barcelona is here. It's a good city. We're gonna say comma. We're gonna say I'm trying to think of another city. Every time I try to think of cities, guys, it's always hard. So we're gonna say city. We're gonna say this city. Mexico City, guys. Mexico City, guys. Mexico City. So we're gonna say Mexico City. I think five cities is not as good. So because I have so many, I have a whole list stored. I need to create a variable, guys. I need to create a variable. So this variable is gonna be called cities. Basically, simple, guys. Simple. Cities equals. Now I have to specify my variable. So create underscore city name. And I see that I already make a mistake, guys. And remember, every time in this channel we make a mistake, we pay for our mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do 5 of that every time we make a mistake, guys, because I forgot to put a colon here. Simple mistake, guys. Rookie mistake. This is called a rookie mistake, guys. I forgot to include a colon here. And if I wouldn't include that colon and I run that program, my program is going to crash, guys. It's not going to run. Something's going to happen. So basically, that's going to happen. So create cities underscore names. And now we're going to say parentheses to call the function. Yeah, take care, big boss. Thanks for being here. Take care, big boss. Thanks for being here, Jared. So now we call that. So now we're gonna print our cities. So we want to print our cities. We're gonna run it. And as you guys see, I have my cities: Baghdad, Tokyo, New York, Barcelona, Mexico City. So I have our cities right here. So remember, guys, so our cities that we have on this function is Baghdad, Tokyo, New York, Barcelona, and New York City. Very simple, guys. Very simple command, but like I said, it was clutch. It came clutch. So we're gonna finish this today with the finding function with a program. So we're gonna finish today with a program. So last program. So we're gonna create a program, and then we're gonna say create a function. We're gonna finish by creating our last function. This is gonna be a challenge, guys, because it's gonna be a calculation problem that you guys are gonna see here how I do it. Create a function, and then we're gonna say that this function is gonna be calculate underscore result. Calculate underscore result. That takes two numbers. Create a function. The function is going to be, the name of the function is going to be calculate underscore result. That takes, let's say, three numbers. That takes three numbers. We're going to say that function is going to take three numbers. We're going to do comma adds the first two numbers. That function is going to add the first two numbers. We're going to say together, just to be more specific. That function is going to add those first two numbers together. Pay attention to what's going to happen here, because one mistake can cause our whole program to break, guys. So pay attention. Create a function. The function name is going to be calculate underscore result. That takes three numbers. Add the first two numbers together. Comma multiplies the sum multiplies the sum by the third number, multiplies the sum by the third number, multiplies the sum by the third number, and takes the product. One of the things that you guys are going to see when you're coding in Python is that a lot of the times are going to be challenges, especially for your interview, guys. For your interview programming stuff, there are going to be a lot of challenges where you guys are going to have to specify how do I do this. So now I'm throwing you an example that you guys can see out there. So for example, they're going to tell you create a function. The name of the function is going to be calculate underscore result that takes three numbers, add the first two numbers together, multiplies the sum by the third number and takes the product. Multiplies the sum number by the third number and takes the product, and divides it by 2. So now we have that. And then, for example, we're gonna say that the result has to be a floating value. The result has to be a floating value. Remember, I already teach you what floating values are. Floating values are values that are decimal numbers. So decimal numbers. So now they're gonna tell us the result is decimal values. And then we're gonna specify an example. So how exactly you want me to do this? For example, we're gonna say 2,4,3 should be 2,4,3 should return 9.0. These are our instruction, guys. So these are our instructions. So now that we have our instruction, we can start coding, guys. Now that we have our instructions, we can start coding, guys. So now that we have our instruction, we can start coding. So how are we gonna do this? The way to do a problem, guys, is you start by reading the problem, guys. Always start by reading the problem. So create a function, calculate underscore result, that takes three numbers. So let's start creating our function. So let's start our first part. Create a function. They want the, remember when I start creating a function, I use def, and they want the name calculate underscore result. Calculate underscore result. Remember, I specify my parentheses, colon. Simple, guys. I've done the first part. Which is create a function, calculate underscore result. That takes three numbers. So now we have to say that takes three numbers. So we're going to say that adds the first number, multiplies the sum by the third number, and takes the product and divides it by 2. The result has to be a floating value. So what now we're going to say, so takes three numbers. So we want to say three numbers. So we're going to say num1, num2, and num3. Num1, num2, and num3, but we have to specify those inside our function. So in order for my function to take two numbers, we have to say num1, comma, num2, comma, num3. I can delete this out of here. So we're saying, like I said, every time you guys see a problem like this, you have to read line by line and see what they're asking for. So create a function, calculate underscore result, that takes three numbers, add the first two numbers together. So now we took the three numbers. So num1, num2, num3. Now they're asking us to add the first two numbers together. So we can say num1 plus num2. Okay, we've done that. We add the two first number together, multiplies the sum by the third number. So num1 plus num2. Now they want to multiply that sum by the third number. So the third number is going to be 3, num3 times num3. So we done that part where we say multiplies the sum by the third number and takes the product and divides it by 2. So we want everything divided by 2. So the product of that divided by 2. So basically that's what the problem says. So it's saying the result should be a floating value. So the result has be, so we're going to return all this back. So remember, I already teach what the return function does. And then we're going to say return float. We're going to say parentheses. We're going to say parentheses and parentheses here. So we can return a floating value. So you can return my floating value, guys. So you can return. So now I can call the function. I can say calculate underscore result. And I'm going to include the numbers that they give us, that the problem gave us. So they give us 2, 4, and 3. So I'm going to call our function, and I'm going to say 2, 4, and 3 here. So we're going to say calculate result 2, 4, 3. 2, 4, 3, which is our, so it says that it should return 9.0, guys. It should return 940. So we're going to store this in a variable name. We're going to say result equals calculate underscore the result. So we're going to say calculate equals underscore result. We're going to print parenthesis result. And then we're going to print the result. I'm going to run it. And I have a mistake. I did this mistake in purpose, but I'm still going to pay. I did this mistake in purpose, but I'm still going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did that mistake in purpose, guys. I did this mistake specifically. I made it in purpose just so you guys can learn. So I'm going to clear the screen. And what happened here? This is something that I've been teaching you throughout this whole course, that Python is case sensitive, guys. Python is case sensitive. I have my variable called result here, and I'm calling that variable result with lowercase letters. I did that mistake in purpose just so you guys can see that Python is case sensitive, so I have to call it with capital letters. We're going to print the result. And our result was 8.0. Our result was 8.0, but then it says right here that it should return 9.0. So my result is 8.0, but I should return a 9.0. Why did this program didn't work? Because we make a mistake, guys. So I'm gonna do it. I did that mistake also in purpose, guys. I did that mistake also in purpose. That's what she said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, every time we do a mistake, we pay here, guys. So 2, 4, 3. So 2, 4, 3. So what happened is that Python is something called, it does something called precedence. And what precedent means, it means that it starts with parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. This is called PEMDAS. So it starts. So the way it started doing this, it started with our multiplication. So it started multiplying 4 times 3, which is 12, divided by 2, which is 6, plus 2. It gave us exactly 8. But the problem says that it should return 9, guys. So in order for me to fix that, I have to say this in parentheses. So remember, Python will do first what's in parentheses. So Python will do first what's in parentheses. So num1 plus num2. So 2 plus 4 is going to be A times the number 3, 24, divided by 2, it has to be 9. So we're going to run it. And as you guys see now, we have the result 9.0, which solved our problem for today, guys. So you guys see how just one parenthesis give us a completely different result. So as you guys saw, just one parenthesis give us a completely different result. So I think this is it for today, guys. I'm gonna end the stream right now for today. I think this is today for functions, and I'm gonna say bye. Thank you, everyone, for being here and the support.